Thanks for stopping back into the Dr. DC channel so you can refill your prescription on the Dallas Cowboys. Today, Mike McCarthy spoke for about 20 minutes at the NFL Combine, answered a lot of questions, but I took the liberty to edit out all the questions because if you're any kind of sports fan, Cowboys fan, football guy, you can tell by the answers what the question was. Who needs questions? We just want to hear the good stuff, the answers. So, welcome to a question free, answers only version of the Mike McCarthy interview from today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more. How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
As a coaching staff, we've had a chance to get through all the video, and we're starting to build the playbooks, offense, defense, and special teams, and it's now we're starting to, formulate how we're going to put it together with our roster. Obviously, we have a lot of free agents, a lot of business decisions in front of us, and we're still working through that process. But just excited to be here and to get the draft, process started. So with that, I'll take your questions. The organization, the Cowboys organization, it's a unique place. I've enjoyed every day there. The energy is awesome. I think you feel that from the first time you walk through the doors. So it's the passion, and it really starts with the Jones family, just the way they approach everything. So I've really have had my head down, and I think like all coaches, when you're in that first year, you're just trying to get to the next meeting, get things organized, and because there's a lot of things that are different for all of us. I got a lot of coaches on my staff that I have not worked with before, so just putting together protocol, policy, the approach and everything everything that we do. So whether it's from game management, football technology, going to Oxnard for training camp, so we just have been grinding through all those things and just trying to make sure we're ready. We will be ready when the players get back officially April 6th. Dak Prescott? No, definitely. I mean, it's exactly where we want to be with Dak. I think what he's done to this point, speaks to itself. I mean, and really, Dak he's in a business situation right now. I've gone through this as a head coach with a number of my players in the past, and I think, like anything, it's just time to be patient and let the business people work out the business matter, and that's really where we are as an organization, and that's where Dak is in his personal flight to get a contract done. Really the hypotheticals. Really, it's not really anything I've ever spent much time thinking about. We'll just take it one day at a time, and it's a business matter. So obviously all the things that are involved with that, those are really for Jerry and Steven and Dak's representatives. I think you got to look at all those things, and really, you have to have a basis, a language, a starting point, and then with that, you do have signs that pull all that together, because no huddle, 2 minutes. So, but yes, it's important to be very aware of the system that the player that you bring into your program, where he's come from. I've coached receivers that during their college career, they just looked over to the sideline and they ran one of 5 routes. So that's all part of a normal adjustment into the league. And I think your point is well taken. But those are things you can learn from as a coach, and how you can use some of those thoughts and ideas, signals, as part of your 2-minute no huddle offense. The big picture. These decisions that I'm making, particularly early in my tenure, I've had a lot of time to think about it. I've had a chance to study the opportunities that were in front of me for quite some time, and Dallas was the one opportunity that was something I felt it was important to keep the current offense in place because of the success that they've had in the past. The productivity on offense is very high. So there will always be things that are different. I think anytime you have a coaching change, That's obvious. Our approach to offense will change. The design of how we put things together will be different, but it's important to build off of the successful concepts and particularly the language that's in place. And I'm excited to work with Kellen, and I've really enjoyed our meetings. So I really like the way he looks at the game. I had a great experience with the Giants. Really enjoyed the day that I was there. First-class organization. Can't say enough about John Mara and just the time that I was able to spend there. So it was a lot of fun. Thought the interaction was good, but hey, it's a process and things happen for a reason, and I'm very blessed to be a Dallas Cowboy. I've had a year off. I mean, I think like anything in life, if you have a chance to step back, reflect, and really take the time to be honest, be transparent about the things that you can improve on. That's all been part of the process that I went through leading up to getting the job in Dallas. But frankly, I haven't reflected 1 minute since I've arrived in Dallas because like everybody, the coaching staff, we've had our head down and we're grinding away. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's a great opportunity. Being at the combine is always fun. I mean, there's always great energy. In this whole city when the combine comes to town. So I'm just thankful to be here. Not really. To me, it's always, this game will always be about the players, and you can never lose sight of that. I mean, the locker room, it's something that I've always preached as a head coach. The locker room is the most important room in the building, and all your resources and your attention and your energy needs to point towards that because they play the game. They're the performers. They're really what this game's all about. So coaching's important. I'm not saying that at all, but at the end of the day, they're the priority. So and I think that needs to be the case. Well, I think number one, you just look what he's done in his time in the league. I mean, I think he's been impressive. I know I've been impressed with him since the first time I saw him play live, up in Green Bay when they came to Lambeau there. So first impressions I think are very important when you see quarterbacks on the field because in-person evaluations, particularly at that position, I've always carried more weight as far as how I felt about a player. So I think he's gone off to a great start. He's built a really good foundation. I'm told he's a tremendous leader. So in my philosophy, as we get with the personnel department and as we go through that, I mean, the defenses get you to the championship. The quarterbacks win championships, and I definitely feel Dak is that quarterback.
What are your thoughts on the new?
I'm sorry.
You had interactions with him?
We've been in touch. Yeah, we've been in touch.
Just by phone call? Or?
Yes, just once again, he's going through this business situation, and I think, well, I mean, our goal is to win every game, so I mean that's why we'll prepare the season. So it doesn't matter who the opponent is.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the newly proposed CBA?
I'm just watching like everybody else. So I'm actually going to Oxnard here in a couple weeks. I'm going to spend a day there. Thursday, 2 Thursdays from now, just to walk the property and we're gonna meet out there, so I can see it and just see how the operation and how it flow with our. I have a proposed schedule that I'm thinking about already for training camp, but the function of it is obviously what's most important, and so we're working on that. But yeah, I'm excited about it. It makes sense to go there. I know everybody in the organization speaks very highly of the training camps out there, so I think it's something that's needed for our football team, and looking forward to working on that. I think when you talk about needs, you can't have enough good football players, and I always point to my past experience in 2010 when we won the. All right, so. 2010, it took 77 players to win a Super Bowl. So, I've never really, I'm not a believer in you're one player away or 2 players away from winning a championship. So, you want to, have as many veterans as you possibly can. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to coach a more experienced football team, but that rookie class is so important and really bringing that veteran group and that rookie class together is really where the really good teams take a big step, particularly in November. So just paying attention more to those types of things and making sure that how we install and how we lay out this off-season program, we're able to get the veterans up to snuff, but more importantly, when that rookie orientation, when that new group comes in, that we can get these guys meshed as fast as we can. You know, our free agents list is high. You know, we're 25, so you know, my first goal is try to get as many of those guys back as we can, and then see what we can add. Because, you know, as a coach, you always want to have the most competitive roster you possibly can. I think definitely. I mean, the goal is to have both those guys back, and you know, just Amari, I thought he, having a chance to get through all the tape as a staff, he did a lot of great things on tape, and really looks like he's in sync with Dak, and I'd even say Randall even more so. I was very impressed with Randall last year. I mean, he was banged up a couple of years prior to that, but I thought he had a heck of a season in Dallas last year. I was very impressed with his video. Good. I've had a chance to talk to both Jason and Sean. Sean's traveling right now, so have a chance to see with him. Jason, we had a chance to sit down at length and talk about a number of the things that he's thinking about. So, but those decisions and how we move forward, that's something that we'll see how it shakes out.
When you're surrounded by Packers all the time, isn't that tough at some level, considering all the energy and heart and soul you poured into the place?
Oh no, I have great memories and positive thoughts about my time there, and I'm thankful for not only the opportunity to coach here, but the relationships that I will always have. I have a lot of close friends that still work for the Packers, and the community that we live in there, that'll always be part of our family. Very important. I think when you make the commitment to special teams, that your roster needs to reflect that. So that's something as we get into the the evaluation process, even with the draft picks and the veterans that are out there, that we're special teams is just not second nature. They're not offensive guys that play on special teams. So it's a focus of ours, and I'm excited about what John Fossil brings to our organization. I think like a lot of things with officiating, those guys are in a tough spot, and I think anytime you want to improve decision making, when you give individuals more responsibility, that might not be the best road to travel. So I think what the league's doing and the conversations that they're having, it's very healthy. Just talking to Stephen Jones about this last night, we're definitely talking about the right things. Education between officiating and coaching is something that I think we can all continue to improve on, and the collaboration will only make it better. So, the Sky Judge is an excellent resource. I mean, I think it's something you have to look at. But I think it's like any resource. If it's not integrated into the everyday operation, I think that it's probably not as productive as you'd like. So, ever with the league decides and the committees decide, I think the fact that they're really talking about the right things and trying to make it part of the normal operation, I think will definitely improve. I mean, the extra game, I think when I think of the 17th game, and I also point to the preseason. I think going to the third preseason game, makes total sense. I think everybody's in agreement on that. The fact that you could, potentially have 2 weeks to get ready for your opener. I like that. I think it gives you a chance to really take a step back, because that last week is difficult, because you got a number of balls in the air where you're trying to pick your 53, make sure you're getting the young guys the opportunities, but you're also trying to get ready for the opener. So I think going to 3 games makes perfect sense. I'm excited about that. The extra playoff game I think is awesome. I think playoff football, there's nothing like playoff football. It's a whole different level, and everybody that's been involved in playoffs understands that. So, and I think it'll definitely be great for the fans. But playoff football, having an extra team in there, I think will be awesome. I mean, we have a network, an operation. Stephen and Will McClade is very impressed with what they have in place there. Especially from a technology standpoint, their analytics set up the way they go about it's different than some of my past experiences. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's we're off to a good start.
What's your
Sorry?
thoughts on using the read option?
The read option, I mean, it's definitely been a weapon. I think Dak has done a great job with that. It's somebody who has a lot of experience, both him and Zeke. You can see it's something that they do very naturally. It's it's part of the cut-ups and the evaluation that I've been very successful. So, and I just think when you look at the way he's built and in his experience in that particular concept, it's definitely something that we'll use moving forward. Well, I mean, making a quarterback successful, I think, is really common sense. I mean, it's really the part of the bylaws and how the West Coast offense was designed. So, I mean, that's what I always believe in. But, because he touches the ball every play. I mean, and he's the player that's going to have the ball in his hand at the most critical part of the game, in the fourth quarter. But, as far as your playmakers, you got 5 premier positions. Obviously, running back's one of them, and you get the ball to your playmaker. So Zeke will touch the football, plenty in our offense. So I mean, really, so when I say it's all about the quarterback, it's not taken away. Someone has to give the ball to the playmaker. So it makes sense to develop that way. But yeah, Zeke will be a primary focus for us offensively.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more. How about them Cowboys? Yeah!